Okay. Good evening, everyone. We are delighted that you have decided and chosen to join us on our call this evening. My name is Sharon Rankin, and I am your host for just a moment, and then I'm going to pass this baton to our co-host, Nancy Jakovac, National Marketing Director. Um, each week when we come together, in case we need a reminder, it is to encourage one another, to be inspired, definitely to work on our skills and our disciplines and our business. And that is really what we're going to be doing tonight. Our mission, our Juice Plus mission, is inspiring healthy living around the world. And as we grow ourselves and grow our own personal skills, we grow our business. And that has been proven over and over again. So I'm going to introduce Nancy Jakovac, National Marketing Director, soon to be 75 Club member, on her way to the elite trip in British Columbia, she and Ron, along with me and Dave, to come in and host us this evening. So welcome, Nancy.
That I spent about 10 minutes before getting on this call. That's why I was a little bit late, Ross. I spent about 10 minutes just being very prayerful that I will make this worth your time. Because, you know, time is the one thing we just can't get more of. And you've committed this 30-minute time slot to listen to a little bit of what I have to say. I'm going to call on a couple of other folks to chime in as well. And so I really want to make this worth your time. And I'm going to start with asking you this question, and let's all be honest. As if you had never heard of the book Go for No, I'm asking the question, how many of you really like to hear the word no? And I doubt that it's any of us. Yes, I'm getting thumbs down. I'm actually getting thumbs down. We've been raised to believe that no is very negative. And so we're going to have to do a real paradigm shift. That's a term that we used years ago. Do you remember, Sharon, when we were talking about different business models that folks would have to do a paradigm shift to embrace network marketing? Well, that's happened, but we're going to have to do a paradigm shift in how we look at the word no. And hopefully when this call is over, we will have moved a little bit in that direction. I'm going to read a few things directly from the book. This is a book we're talking about, Go for No for Network Marketers. Oh, I've got my Juice Plus sticky notes over the top. Go for No for Network Marketers. How many of you have ordered this book and received it already? And of those who've ordered it and received it, how many have read it all the way through? It's not a difficult read, so I would encourage you, if you have not yet ordered it or if you have not yet read it, that you would do that. It's not a difficult read at all. But the first thing that I want to mention here is one of the greatest ironies of life is the fact that winners fail more often than losers. Jeff Roberti tells us every time he does a presentation that the only difference between his business and our business is that he's gotten a lot more no's. And it's probably true. Winners understand that intentionally and dramatically increasing your failure rate is the greatest strategy in the world. Okay, and then the other thing I want to point out is this, and ask you this question. So do you think you have the courage to stand up to more no's in your life? Because that's going to be the key. The key is going to be whether or not you're going to be brave enough to put yourself on the line and go out there and actually get those no's and strive for those no's. So as I said, I hope that by the time we're finished with this call, you'll say, yes, I'm brave. Yes, I can handle the no's. Yes, I can do this. And yes, I want to. So I'm going to read to you now one other excerpt from the book. And this is written by the authors. Some of the quotes that I'll read to you are by Ray Higdon. And I know he had a great impact on Anna and Tony's business. We're going to hear from them a little bit later. But this is from the authors of the book. And husband and wife, I think. Aren't they married, Sharon? A married couple? I think so. We're 100% positive that yes and no are a package deal. You simply can't have one without the other, and certainly not in large quantities. And it made me think of the movie, Oh God, old movie. Some of you younger folks might not be familiar with this, but George Burns played the part of God. And somebody asked him, why is there negativity? Why is there hurt? Why is there sadness in the world? And he said, you know, when I was creating the world, I could never figure out how to make an up without a down. I could never make a top without a bottom. I could never make an in without an out. And so I'm convinced that he couldn't make a yes without a no. And that's one of the reasons why they come as a package deal. And you have to be prepared for both of those as you go out in the world. Okay, so nobody likes to fail. Success means that you hit your target. Success means that you achieve your goal. And conversely, failure means that you fall short. You didn't quite do what you said you were going to do. So, what if your goals were written in terms of no's? What if each month you set out to get more no's? How would that change what your activity looked like? So let's think about this. If you set a goal to sign 5 new customers and 1 new rep each month, and I know that's a goal of a lot of us. 5 new customers and 1 new rep has been a pretty consistent goal of a lot of people. And you only do 3 new customers and 1 new rep, you've sort of failed, right? You didn't reach your goal if you consider failure not doing what you set out to do. But what about this? What if your goal was to get lots of no's? In fact, what if your goal was to get 20 no's, which is what's mentioned in the book? I'm pretty sure most of us aren't even talking to 20 people on a monthly basis. And I'm not pointing any fingers, but I suspect that a whole lot of us focus on those 5 that we're praying will be our new customers, and that 1 that we're hoping will be our new rep, and we stop it there. But what if we set that goal in terms of 20 no's a month? Now, a couple of things might happen, I suspect. Number 1, you're going to make more contacts. You have to. You have to talk to more people if you want to get 20 no's, right? You're going to make more contacts. You're going to create more events. You're going to invite to more of the calls. We have access to so many resources right now that there's something for everybody that you could be inviting all day long, actually, because there are the 90-day calls, there are already recorded calls, there are activities that you're creating in your homes, your wine and wellness parties, your salad in a jar parties, all kinds of things that you can be inviting to. So number 1, I suspect that if your goal was 20 no's, you'd be more active in your Juice Plus business on a regular basis. Number 2, you could hit your goal more often if your goal was to get 20 no's, and you'd feel successful. Hey, I did it. I got my no. I got all my no's. I hit my goal. But here's this, because of your increased activity, because yes and no are what? A package deal. You're also going to get, in fact, it might louse up your game plan when those yeses come through, you know? Oh, darn, I had 19. I thought you were going to be 20. And you said, yes, now I have to go get another one. I have to keep talking to people to get that last no. So in the process of trying to get those no's, you just might get more yeses. Okay, is everybody cool with that? Yeah? Okay, so now if you're going to be talking to more people more often, here's the next key. You don't have to be perfect. Has anybody ever heard that before? Wendy Campbell says it all the time. And if Wendy Campbell says it, it must be true. That's all I have to say. It just has to be true. In fact, you know what? You really don't want to be perfect in this business. Perfection might get you a sale. It definitely will not get you a team member. People look at your perfect presentation. They look at your answer to every question. They can't throw anything at you that makes you stutter or stammer or sweat. You've got it. You've got the presentation down pat. You know your enzymes, you know your phytochemicals, and you got it. You'll get a customer. You will not get a team member. So I always encourage people to say, I don't really know the answer to that, but I know where we can find it. We've got a ton of resources available to us. How much more encouraging is that kind of comment to a person who just might want to join your mission? If they know, they can say, I don't know. If they know, they can say, but I know where I can find the answer, or I know somebody who will know the answer, or even let's call home office, or let's send an email to home office. Somebody down there will answer us quickly. As Cheryl Shapetto can attest, she just sent us a response to a question that was posted on Voxer last week. So those are the kinds of things that you want to get good at, knowing how to help people find the answers to questions, not knowing. I've had people say, I'm too nervous to go to talk to anybody until I know what questions they might ask me. I'll guarantee you, you can think you know every question in the book, and somebody's going to throw a new one at you. That's just the way this works. Okay, so you don't have to be perfect. Get over that. Get over yourself. Learn the resources. Learn the tools. We've got a gazillion of them. Here's the other thing you're going to need. You're going to need a big list. Does anybody remember what, oh my gosh, the gal from the East Coast, her husband, she's a very successful national marketing director. But anyway, her husband Gretchen Comstock. And when her husband took a look at what was going on in the business, he said, you're going to need a load of people. Okay, if you're going to need a load, I know this is being recorded, so you get the gist, right? If you're going to need that kind of list, that kind of group, you're going to need a big list. So if you haven't already done this, I would love to encourage you to go to thefreedomrevolution.com, go to the password protected section, watch the video on creating your memory jogger, and do that all over. I don't care if you are a qualifying national marketing director or an NMD. I don't care what level you're in. I don't care. I think we should all do that exercise and create a new list. But sometimes you don't have a huge list to work from. And that's where I'm going to ask Anna and Tony to jump in. I am going to ask you a couple of questions first, Anna and Tony, if you want to unmute yourselves, because they have embraced the Go for No book and the Go for No activities. I would first of all like to know what was the aha breakthrough that occurred when you read that book that made you think this is the change we need to make?
As we had kind of burned out our warm market, so we're like, man, how are we going to reach out to more people? And after the book, it just like ignited, like, yes, the more people you reach out to, the power of numbers, that's what we need.
Okay.
So that's when we start doing cold market.
Okay. And how did you choose the cold market calls that you were going to make?
Yep.
So I'm an avid YouTube watcher, and when we started Juice Plus, I really turned to Eric Worre on down the line. And then one YouTube video especially spoke to me, and that was when he interviewed Ray Higdon. And that was when he told his story. And his story is he was a broke realtor that was going through foreclosure. But he was going to do network marketing, and his wife was paying his bills. So he decided he knew a lot about sales, but he decided, I'm going to do this and I'm going to really attack it. So he did 20 no's a day for 7 months. And he also did a Facebook Live, or not, a video every day on top of that. But with his 20 no's, at 5 months, he was at $10,000. And then at 7 months, he was at $40,000 a month. And he basically just took no to the extreme. He's actually, I mean, he's the co-author, as everyone knows, of the second book in Go for No. And the reason he's in that book is because the author actually reached out to him because he embraced it, just like we're trying to do. So, yep.
Beautiful. Now, I know everybody's curious. When you make these calls, what are some of the questions that you ask the individuals? I'm assuming you're going to business owners, maybe just out of the phone book and from lists and things. Is that?
Yeah. So we've been targeting realtors. That's what we've been doing right now.
Okay.
So we start off, we ring them up. It's like, hey, how you doing today? They're like, good. Good. And then we'll be like, hey, I'd like to run something by you quick. And then this is a script actually from Ray and Jessica Higdon. So that's kind of where we got the script.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got to get on a conference call here soon, but my husband and I, let's see, that's not the right one, is it? Is it over there? What is? Okay. My husband and I are partnered with a company that's inspiring healthy living. And then we're like, I am just curious, would you be open to more information to see if it'd be a fit for you or not? And then they say yes or no. And if they say no, then we're like, do you know of anyone else that would be open?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then if they say yes, we'll be like, how soon do you think you can watch it? I would love to follow up with you. What's your email?
Exactly. And about how many of those calls do you shoot for each day when you're working your Juice Plus business?
Yep, we get 20 no's a day. So sometimes it's like 80 calls a day because some people don't answer, some call back, some don't.
And what we found is that realtors are the easiest to contact because their information's on the internet. But really, you can do this with anyone. You can do it with someone in the supermarket or your nail lady or
Right.
or your former coach, whoever. You just lead them to a tool, and you let the tool do the work. And that way, it's duplicatable. And your team members, the people that you sign up, or if they're thinking about signing up, you can just say, well, all I really do in a nutshell is lead them to a tool. And obviously it's not that simple, but that in a nutshell, that's what you do. So
Wonderful.
Once you get used to the rejection part, it's good. You get that at first, but then you get over it. Just like, whatever, brush it off.
And you have to admit that the fact that you two are doing it together made that rejection sting a little bit less, do you think?
Yeah, we laugh about it. We tell each other what they said, and we just laugh.
yeah, and one last thing that Ray says is don't be addicted to the outcome. And that's really not easy to do because even you get people, we've done this for what, 40 days probably?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Probably close to 40 days. We go Monday through Friday because it just became too much with our full-time jobs. But you hear everything, and that's good for you. We've heard not everything. Well, we hear something new every day. But
yeah,
I bet.
if you're not addicted to the outcome, you got to get through that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like if you guys have ever read the Network Marketing, the first year Network Marketing, the guy says, some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. I thought that was pretty cool too.
There you go. Well, Anna and Tony, thank you so much. And we just look forward to finding out where this takes you, because the reality is, they're going to be bringing in lots of people. Have you gone outside your general area yet? Have you gone to other communities or even other states?
I just burned through. I've been doing the males, she's been doing the females, and I actually am done with Eastern Iowa. That's where we live. And also one other thing, personally, like I'm an introvert, and this is something that people might be able to see for themselves is introverts actually can do a better job in Ray Higdon's mind in this company, because an extrovert won't follow a system necessarily. They might try selling something that's not duplicatable.
Right.
Because someone that is really salesy might be able to sell something, but the next person they sign up might not be able to. So introverts seem to follow a system better. So if someone's introverted out there, this is a great way of doing it. And it's a system. You can plug this in with anyone, really.
That's beautiful. And I'm excited for you and a lot of the others on this call who are really just starting to fluff out your organization. There's never been a system more complete and better in place than our system is right now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All the bases covered. Well, Ann and Tony, thank you both so much.
Yeah.
And I know we all look forward to seeing where this takes you. And I have a feeling that you might have a few others jump on the bandwagon after hearing what you're doing. Would you just be interested in taking a look? You're going to get a yes or a no, and you can rack up those no's pretty quick that way, can't you?
Sure
Thank
can.
you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Okay. So when you're making that list, because not everybody has gone through their entire warm market yet, here's something to keep in mind. Let me find the page that I want, because I can read it better than I can say it. Most people, now a lot of you have heard this already. We used to talk about where do you see yourself on a sliding scale of 1 to 10? If you think you're a 7 or an 8, you're probably going to talk to 5s or 6s. But here's the reality. Most people, when they start network marketing, tend to look for people that they perceive below them socially or economically because they're safe, okay? Perhaps they feel like maybe they have a little bit of influence over them, or maybe they think that person needs what they have. Here's the reality. And you've heard Ron talk about the stay-at-home brother-in-law with his six-pack. This is sort of the same thing. From my personal experience, and this is Ray Higdon talking, if you want to witness the most closed-minded people, go to your broke friends. The people who need what you have the most, the people who really need to make money and are struggling, usually are the most skeptical and cynical. So if you enjoy being shot down by people who need this, by people who don't, then go to the needy. But we always heard in the past, don't go to the needy, go to the greedy. People who understand what it takes to be successful. People who would like to achieve a little bit more so that they can help a few more people. Those are the ones who have a bigger sphere of influence, and those are the ones who are going to be most likely to listen to what you have to say. Okay, so now once you get a yes, try for more. I love this story. Some of you have heard it, but not all of you. And it's a little bit like a story that's in the initial Go for No book about the clothing salesman. But a few months, well, no, it's been a few years ago now, Ron needed a new tuxedo for the Eltons. And we went to a store in the area with only the intention of buying a tuxedo. That was all. He said, and he knows me. I mean, I love to shop for Ron, and I love to keep bringing things for him. But we happened to get a hold of a salesman who I know had memorized these books. He must have known every word, because Ron found the tux that he wanted. And then this sweet young man said, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you about our suit sale. Because you already purchased a tuxedo, you have an opportunity to get a suit at half price. So I started pulling suits for Ron to try on, and Ron's going, I just want the tux. And I guess he was double teamed here. He really didn't have a chance. But after we found a suit, because it was half price, I mean, we had to, right? The young man said, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you. I mean, he must have said that 5 times. So long story short, we left that store with, and I've got this written down because I thought I might forget, a tuxedo, a suit, a sport coat, 2 pairs of slacks, 2 shirts, 2 belts, 2 ties, 2 pairs of shoes, and 2 packages of underwear. Because the man didn't take the first yes. Okay, sometimes we're so excited that we've gotten a twin pack customer or a trio customer that we don't even think to ask, is there anyone else in your family who might want to get started? Or do you have any children who, and I know you're all good on the family health study. I know you're good on that. But, we assume sometimes, they're already spending X number of dollars. I don't want to hit them up for more. Let them make that decision. Just let them know what we have and let them make that decision. And if they don't on the first go round, certainly when you do your customer care, introduce some of the other products. If you get a no, I want to encourage all of you now to use the healthylivingrevolution.com. It's a gift that we can give to people even when they say no. Okay, it's a beautiful gift that we can say, you know, we are all about inspiring healthy living. Sometimes it's through our Juice Plus products, but oftentimes it's just through sending you to a website where you can find healthy recipes and exercise videos. And would you be willing to look at that if I sent you the link? That's definitely getting an opportunity for another no or a yes. And it keeps that door open so that you can follow up, okay? Let's see. I just want to tell you, read the book if you haven't already. If you have, read it again. I want to close with a couple of stories that I think exemplify the go for no attitude. And one's out of Jay Martin's book. Have you all seen Jay's book? I may have told you this before. He wrote this a couple years ago now, but it's all the stories that he's told through the years. And this is the one about the little Girl Scout. Now, I'm going to help you count. You count with me how many no's this little girl got before she was finished. She was a little Girl Scout who had broken several sales selling cookies, and she was asked how she did it. She said, I'm always persistent. And then she told this story. Last week, I knocked on a door, and a great big man with bushy eyebrows answered and asked me what I wanted. I'm selling Girl Scout cookies, I replied. I don't want any, he said. That's number one. I asked if he had ever tried our Thin Mints. He said he didn't want any. How about tag-alongs? I tried. I mean, everybody likes peanut butter, right? I said I didn't want any. I bet if you tried the Samoas, you'd want some. You know, chocolate and coconut. Young lady, he barked. I said I don't want any cookies, period. Do you have some friends who might like cookies? I offered. I don't have any friends, he growled. Then I looked him straight in the eye. She said, I'll be your friend if you'll buy some cookies. Okay, so that was 5 no's, and she never really offended him. She left on a happy note, right? So one other thing I want to read to you, two really. The numbers that Sharon always shares with us about, hang on, the numbers. Where are the numbers, Sharon? I thought I had this all marked. How many people quit after the first no? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, go through the book, because the reality is most people, a huge majority, quit after the first no, right? But the reality is that most people buy after their 5th exposure. Somebody's going to get them, you guys. Somebody is going to be around when that prospect is ready to say yes. So I hope that it's you. I don't know how many of you know this story. This was new to me. Margaret Mitchell published only 1 book in her lifetime. But oh, what a book it was. Gone with the Wind won the Pulitzer Prize in 1939 and became perhaps the most watched movie in history. What most people don't know is that Gone with the Wind was turned down by 32 publishers. Although she was a very shy private person, Mrs. Mitchell believed so strongly in her book that she kept knocking on doors and sending off her manuscript until a publisher finally saw what the other 2 publishers had missed. So don't give up after that first no. Second no. We used to have a lady in the business who, you remember Kathy, the truck driver, Kathy. She used to say, and she was a gruff gal, she said, if they're worth talking to once, they're worth talking to 10 times. And she was right. So I hope I've given you a little bit of insight. The reality is you'll get a whole lot more if you just get the book, read the book, reread the book, and then be brave enough to go get some no's. That's it, Sharon.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much. And thank you, Tony and Anna.
Yes, thank you, Tony and Anna.
Yeah, and I do know, let me just say for Tony and Anna, they did have me do a Zoom call. We did a Zoom call with one of their cold calls, and I do believe he added Juice Plus to his diet. At least he said he was going to, but at least it turned into a next step. So there was something that happened there, and I want to give him kudos for that. That's bravery. I've never, ever done any cold market. I just go out and try to meet more people. That seems to fit my personality better. But everybody, and you know what? I admire what you guys are doing because you have a big why. you have a big, big why. And we all have big whys. And so let's just continue to really reach out, touch people. It does start with who we know, and it advances with who we meet and who we touch. So thank you, Nancy. I love that story about the Girl Scout because I had forgotten that story that Jay Martin had told many, many times. Well, you guys have a super week. Rising Leaders are rising strong. They've got so much stuff going in the Rising Leaders groups that my head is spinning, but you guys are bombing it out there. So congratulations, everybody. Let's have a super week as we shine the light. Good night. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Sharon. Thanks, Nancy.
Love you guys.
Good night.
Love
Thank
you guys.
You.
Good night. Thank you.